We've got a goal of getting Brupeg into the water within 2 to 3 months. We've got a heap of work to do, but we've also made a lot of progress over the last few months. So join us on a quick tour around Brupeg so that you can see what we've got left to do and how we're going to tackle that. We've got a heap of volunteers coming up, so it should be a fun month.
We've just finished.
You're not helping, dog.
We've just finished Christmas dinner and we've had it with family in New Zealand, so we've done it via video chat. Mishka got a new toy for Christmas, as you can probably tell.
You're not helping!
And we've had 4 days off. So we're feeling recharged and we're ready to go, and we're about to venture into 2 to 3 months of really intense work on the boat. It's the last push before we launch, and there's a lot to do. There's a heap to do.
We're hoping to be launched before that time frame finishes, just to clarify.
Yeah. We've got a project that potentially we're well in the running for, and it looks like it will happen, and it's really exciting, and we can't tell you any more than that. But this is getting really real,
and
really fast.
First to get the seeds to tell you, because it's so bloody cool.
It's so cool. But we'll let you know if and when it happens. But it's another layer of motivation and desperation to get it in the water in a certain time frame. So this is a big push. But what we wanted to actually say was thank you for an amazing year. We hope you had a really, really nice Christmas and Happy New Year. But thank you to everyone who got us here, particularly our patrons, all the people that have volunteered and supported us. Yeah, you know, thank you so much.
People out of the blue, you know, like it's just, it's mind blowing. Like,
you've got us here, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and we just can't say enough how appreciative we are. And there are some people particularly who have helped us a huge deal, and we just want to mention them. Malcolm, our neighbour, he's such an experienced sailor, boatie. He's rebuilt 9 boats, big boats, really big boats, and travelled the world over many times, been travelling since he was a little kid. And he's just been so generous with his support and encouragement, and also really sage advice. Thank you so much, Malcolm. I don't think you know what you've meant to us, but it's been an amazing experience. And Gordon, who rebuilt a trawler while we were here, and we raced to get in the water before. We knew we wouldn't. We knew he'd win, of course. He's using his boaties, it's all go, and but he was so helpful, and not quiet about his opinion, which was really helpful. We learned so much from him, and we really appreciate it, Gordon, and in many other ways, you know, the windows and just like so many things that you helped us with.
There's just so much, so many layers of advice that he gave that are now in the boat. And the boat is a better thing because of it, you know, and it's I couldn't have bought that advice, you know, like it's just amazing to have somebody of that caliber just be as generous as he was. Bex
and Joe.
Yeah, Rebecca and Joe, they've been amazing. So
right from the get-go they were here with us, intense out the back, getting bitten all night, and coping with really hot days, so they helped us strip the boat down right at the beginning, and they're still coming up, they're still helping us. 4
years ago when we bought the boat, pretty much the first weekend that we were like seriously starting to work on the boat, they said, alright, we've got a week off over Christmas, we'll come up and give you a hand, and they did, and like, man, so they just worked so damn hard. Like, they were doing 14, 16 hour days and not stopping, and at the end of the day I was collapsing.
And Bex would say, we can finish this bit!
No, come on, let's go, we're just about there, let's get this last bit done.
Amazing.
Amazing, And they haven't stopped, you know, 4 years on, they still come up and help, and it's just remarkable to sort of have mates like that, you know, to be able to...
who believe in you?
Yeah, who believe in you, and who just, they're that level generous, you know, that they come up and do that, like
and they don't really know what they've done for us.
No.
We also want to thank Ryan, our special guy Ryan. for getting us here.
If it wasn't for Ryan, this channel wouldn't be where it is. You know, like Ryan in the early days was every single week was editing a video and you know, doing the website stuff and figuring out he had no idea how to use YouTube or Patreon and like all of the background stuff that you have to figure out to run a channel. You know, that was Ryan. Like,
and I learned to edit through watching him. And the thing that Ryan is for us is he's pushing us creatively all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's just amazing
and incredibly generous at the same time without realizing what his generosity has created.
Yeah, he's so humble. He just, I don't think he has a clue what he means to us either. It's all these humble people around us. It's amazing. Yeah. So thank you so much, Ryan. We'll see you soon. January is going to be really busy. We'll see you soon. We really want to thank my brother Brad. He's come over a couple of times from New Zealand, and oh my God, the hardest worker that you'll ever meet, and so supportive and so motivating, and every week asking where this is or where that is or where we are with this part of the project. It's just so helpful. Tim, thank you so much for all your advice and your precision and your encouragement and all your work and contribution. It's amazing, and Tim's offered to help us design and build the kitchen, the galley. So we're so lucky. We're so lucky to
hopefully have that done soon, which will be another like pretty amazing episode. Like just the level of precision that he puts into his woodworking and stuff, I just find stunning. Right
now, what we're doing is we're heading into a really busy 2 months. So we've got a deadline to get in the water 2 to 3 months from now. There's a heap to do to be safe, be in the water, be moving, be working. And then so remember with us, it's all about a 2-stage process. The first stage, dump and run, what we call dump and run, which is the necessities to get in the water, safe, livable, functional, and moving. And then once we're in the water, we're doing all the next part of it. So that's the interior, more of the interior, finishing that off, gear on board, developing the boat for its big expeditions. And then at some stage, when we're ready, we'll haul out and we'll do the icebreaker work. So that's preparing it for the polar region. And now what we want to do is take you on a tiki tour. That's clear for tour. We want to take you on a tour around the boat to show you what we're going to do to launch. So we want to give you some real insight into the projects coming up, what's half finished, where we're at.
What's needed to launch, and then what will be done after launch as well. This is our last big push, really. So really exciting, but also a bit scary. There's a heap to get through, so stay tuned. But first it was Christmas. We took 4 days off so that we could get ready for the work coming up. Where the trawls are on the other side. And on the last day of the holidays for us, Queensland put on quite a show. It was pretty awesome to be right in the middle of this thunderstorm.
So one of the jobs this summer is to strengthen the bell roller. It's made of 16mm steel but no ribs, so it's weak for side loads. So Dame's going to weld ribs on the outside of the hull to give it extra strength. We also have to build the hydraulic system to power the anchor winch. The anchor winch is all done, and we've got second-hand chain, and we'll buy an anchor and then the system is intact. So no, it's not straight. We have to straighten it. This is how they yank the boat out of the water when it's sunk. So yeah, we've got to cut and straighten this before we go in the water. So it needs to look like that one.
Another job to tackle this summer is around this rim. On the wheelhouse we need to blast and paint all the way around it. There's a couple of corners we need to take out some fairly heavy rust as well. And then a while back I built a door aid box. We need to move this so it's above the new stove location.
So what we've done is these are the fittings for the water tanks. We've got to do the same on the other side, so Dame's got to cut out, blast out some holes, and he's got to weld those in and then do the piping on the interior. If you come this way, we've got these windows to put in properly. We haven't finished those off, they're just sitting in there. We've got to blast and paint little jobs like this around the boat. So as you can see, it's a bit of a tight squeeze along here, and that's because this got actually squished in when the boat rolled into the river when it sunk. So we've actually got to push this out. We've got to push out from here, and then we've got to cut this and push that out so it's straight, so people can easily get through here. There's some finishing off work up here on the deck. We have 4 of these vents. These are the engine vents, they go through here. These need panels on top. We're not going to do that, but what we do have to do is blast the inside of this and paint. So it's another job.
On Brupeg we've got 3 gates on the rear deck, the 2 on the side, and then there's 1 in the transom. We need to basically build the hinges and everything for these and start mounting all of the pieces that were cut out as gates so that they're lockable at sea. And then the rear gate is also going to be modified to be a swim platform entry and exit point. This is actually the piece of steel that was cut out of the transom. This will become the new gate.
So to launch we need things inside that could move attached with brackets, so we've got to go through and do that. So Tim's going to help us with the whiteware in the galley. We need things like the sofa, the beds, things like that, everything bolted down, so we'll be doing that. We also need watertight doors, so these have to be built. These are going to be alloy doors, and they're going to have the what's called a pentagraph hinges attached to them, so they have to be built as well. We're going to be finishing off the floor downstairs. There's little bits and pieces throughout the boat that we have to finish before we go in the water, but there's little details, we don't need to worry about those so much. We are going to leave the plastic on the windows because we can change them when we're in the water. Once we're in the water, we don't have the cost of the yard, so we can start moving forward faster, so we'll leave them as they are.
On the underside of the hull we need to rebuild a couple of ribs inside each fuel tank. I also need to get in and deal with this cofferdam. So by sealing up the cofferdam we make the hull watertight. Under the bottom of the boat the keel needs to be blasted along the length of it. There's a lot of barnacles as you can see here. It was an area that was never cleaned off when the boat was pulled out of the water. We've got 3 tonne of diesel and oil behind me that we need to clean up, so we need to get all of the water out of it. The diesel's had an absolute hiding. It's been underwater, it's been in hot tanks, cold tanks, lots of condensation in it. It's had diesel bug, so it's really had a bit of a hiding. I need to filter the cripes out of that so that we can send it off to a diesel lab and see if it's actually worth saving. If it is, there's 2,000 litres of diesel in there that we can stick back into the boat once we've processed it. And then we've got about 1.5 tonne of veggie oil that we need to process as well into fuel. So behind me is the contraption that we started to build for our veggie oil processing. So in this up here you'll be able to see a video about our veggie oil processor version 1. It was an electric one. It was okay but wasn't good enough, so we created this beast. It's a vacuum processor and so far so good. It's working pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's coming up in a future episode. You'll see that in a week or 2.
Although this paint looks pretty good, with all the work we've done on Brupeg, there's a lot of areas that need touch-ups and extra paint.
So we got a forklift in and we started taking off our rudder. The reason the rudder had to come off is so that we could start to deal with our rudder stock, which is either worn or has a grease leak from the packing. So up in this stainless shaft here, we need to strip the whole assembly apart so we can understand how it's built and then rebuild it so that it won't leak again. One of the decent jobs that we're going to be tackling this month is our gull wing stabilisers. So where Brupeg's going, we're going to be hitting some pretty ferocious seas. We're also going to be hitting ice at times, so we need to make sure we've got some really solid stabilisers on the side of the boat that can handle a bit of a beat up from some ice. So these are some 6mm steel plates that we've had rolled. We're going to be creating an aerofoil shape, basically that shape there. And these are going to be hinged wings. They're 8 foot by 3 feet, and they go down. They're welded onto the chine. So this is where the actual wings start their mounting from. So this is a large hinge that we have to build out of stainless and mild steel, and it folds the wing up onto the hull. We also have to cut out this piece of half round here so that when the wing is tucked up against the hull, it sits in nice and flush and doesn't get knocked off when we go to wharfs. Another major job for us to tackle is our generators. Under this blue tarpaulin, we've got a 3-cylinder Kubota 14 kVA generator. We actually found this in a bush. The engine is complete, but the electrics are in pieces, so we have to figure out exactly what it's going to take to get that running. And we were donated a 6 kVA Kubota generator by Gary, the local mechanic. That's going to act as our backup generator on Brupeg. We also need to look at the underwater paintwork on Brupeg. So any areas of steel that we've worked on over the years need to be blasted back, 2-pack etched, and then we can start throwing the anti-foul across the bottom of the boat. Another really important job for us to get done this month is to run all of the cabling and control systems that go from the engine behind me all the way up into the bridge. We need to be able to control the engine from up there. At the moment we can start and stop and do all of our checks, but it's always from the engine bay. We need to be able to see exactly what's going on from the wheelhouse so that we can drive this boat.
We've got a busy month ahead, a busy 3 months really, because we're aiming for that launch. So yeah, thanks to our volunteers coming up this month. If you want to volunteer, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. One of the next things that we're going to be working on is our oil processor. So this is a vacuum oil processor, and this does 2 things. One, it cleans up diesel. We're trying to rescue 2 tons of dead diesel. It's had a whole bunch of stuff done to it, and this processor is going to help us to clean that diesel up so it's usable. And it also allows us to make usable fuel out of waste cooking oil. So that's the next episode coming up. Should be pretty cool.
So have a great new year, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye. Come down. Are you ready? And you back up first. You ready for a run? Take you down the marina, right? Yeah. Ready? You've been quite ready before, were you? You my little funny buddy. Come on, darling. Come on, my. Here we go. Look at smart boy.
Where will you go? Won't you miss the ones you know? I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna